examples, can you give us kind of a overview what other big car manufacturing companies that most people know, like Mercedes, BMW, and Ford, and companies like that, what are they doing right now? And kind of do the intro there to the episode.
Sure. So you can never escape the shadow of Tesla when we're talking about electric vehicles, because they really did pioneer the, I suppose you can't say that they pioneered the electric car, and I would never claim that. There have been many companies that have produced electric cars over the last 100 years, really. One of the first first motor vehicles was an electric car, but I think it can do like 2 miles on a single charge or something. But the revolution that Tesla created was to make electric cars sexy, and that's, I think, the part of the equation that made the biggest impact on the public consciousness is, whoa, that's a nice looking car. And then you go, oh, it's electric. Oh, it's probably a bit slow then. No, it's really fast. Oh my God. Okay. Is it safe? Oh, it is actually the safest car in the world per like all of these tests. And it just, those dominoes just fell, and a lot of people's minds just went, okay, and switched tracks. And so that was a gauntlet being laid down for the rest of the industry, and it's taken a long time for legacy, as they call them, legacy automakers now, because they're the internal combustion engine crowd, for them to pick up that gauntlet and run with it. One of the first to do it was Nissan. They produced the Leaf. I think it was 2010 the first Nissan Leaf came out. I've never been a huge fan of that car. Just, they completely missed the sexy element on that one. It's really not an attractive car in my opinion. And then you had people like Renault picking that up as well. They kind of gone in an interesting direction where, and I suppose Nissan's direction was interesting as well, where Tesla was targeting the sort of wealthy business people with money to burn. Nissan focused on the almost the soccer mom market, the family mid-level income suburban sort of market, and they really did a good job on focusing on that market, because it turned out to be very, very profitable for them. It was a huge selling car, reasonable value, great value to own and operate, because of course you're not paying for petrol, and maintenance on electric cars by their nature is a lot cheaper. It's just a lot less necessary. And then Renault focused on the city driver, on someone who needs a small car. Is particularly relevant in European cities with narrow streets and lots of traffic, a small maneuverable car. And so they came out with I can't remember which came first, but the Renault Twizy is this, it's almost like hilarious when you see it. It's a single person, like a four-wheel bike almost, with a cabin. And it's
I saw
quite
it, yeah.
silly looking. Yeah, but
yeah.
But people who have them love them, and they're really nimble and able to get around, like even pedestrian places. And then of course the Renault Zoe, which is, it started out sort of in the same category as the Leaf, where at least to me it was not very appealing, not huge range or very impressive specs, but over time it has grown, and much as the Leaf has, into this very impressive car. So Renault and Nissan were, if not leading the charge, they were following Tesla quite closely, but taking their own routes to market. And then other companies started to pick up the gauntlet as well, after 7 or 8 years of Tesla showing them how amazing electric cars can be. And those would be companies like Kia, Hyundai. The Korean automakers have really embraced EVs, and the best EVs on the road right now, aside from Teslas, are Hyundais and Kias. The Kona, the e-Niro, those have huge range. They're fairly comfortable cars. They are, they're an attractive package overall. They're kind of a crossover SUV size range. And then in the last 2 or 3 years, of course, it's just taken off. Everyone else is kind of picking up the gauntlet. Even Weirdly enough, the creator of the Prius, which back in I think in 1998 when it came out was like, oh my God, this is the wave of the future. It's a hybrid car. It's got an electric motor in it. This is incredible. And it was sort of the poster child of the kind of stereotypically the LA eco warrior elite people who just wanted to like make a visible statement. They would
Yeah.
have a Toyota Prius. And then Toyota just rested on their laurels for like 20 years. Um, and they did nothing in the electric car field aside from fielding more of these hybrids. And as competitors' technology advanced, the Toyota hybrid started to look really piecemeal in comparison. I was looking into them a few years ago, and like on electric mode, you could get maybe 10 kilometers on in these things, and that would be high. Some of them were like 1.5 kilometers, all
That's
electric
not
mode.
very impressive.
No, it was like, why are you even bothering to do this? And to add insult to injury, you couldn't charge them from an external source. So all of the energy generated for these cars is coming from internal combustion. So you're creating
Isn't
carbon
it kind of the
emissions.
same thing then?
Yeah, the only advantage really with a hybrid like that is that it would tend to rely on electric power for city center driving, just by the nature of city center driving, stop
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So it's working on the electric motor and not producing pollution. So it would cut down pollution in city centers. That's the argument. But nowadays, well, up until very, very recently, they were still leaning on that hybrid thing. And they had the audacity to refer to them as self-charging hybrids and tout the fact that you would never need to plug them in, which every time they would say it, I would just see fumes, fumes of carbon coming
Yeah.
out of the car.
Yeah.
It's such a disingenuous way to do it, but they have finally seen the light, and in the trade shows last year, they started showing off their new EV prototypes. So they've actually teamed up with which company was it? It was one of the Chinese companies. I can't remember which one. To create their electric drivetrain. So they're taking what we'll see is a relatively mature
Approach.
electric drivetrain or mature technology and integrating it with their own styling and car building acumen. And don't get me wrong, I love Toyota. My family had driven Toyota for years, but I've just been very disappointed in their approach to EVs. Then you have other latecomers to the game, being Honda. They produce a really, really cool little city car called the Honda E, but it's expensive. The range isn't great, but it is so visually attractive that I really like it. And
Is it
then we've
hybrid or
got
fully EV?
it's full EV. It's fully. Look up videos of the Honda E because it is just such a cute car. I really would love one of them, but only if could get like 3 times the range they're getting now, at half the price. Then we've got the likes of Volvo, who have said that by I think it's mid-decade 2025 that their entire range will be either hybrid or full EV, and they're really committing to that. They've got their performance brand mark as well, Polestar, which has gone completely EV now as well. So the dominoes have toppled and are continuing to topple. The stated aim of Tesla back when they were first getting started is that they wanted to demonstrate and accelerate the transition to renewable energy transport, and they're doing it. It's succeeding for them.
Awesome. So we see a positive uptrend in the market into that direction. That's good. I like that. And
I didn't even mention VW. Sorry, their ID3s. I'm seeing them pop up all over the place now. The Dieselgate people. We're now seeing a lot of positive moves towards electric vehicles coming from them, and they own several other companies like Skoda. I think I don't know if it's a deal or an ownership thing that they have with Peugeot, Seat. all of these companies are producing really quite impressive little EVs.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see the full version, go to the Uncle Gold Podcast YouTube channel or watch the next clip.